There's a reason people freeze when they hear words like forced deliveries, market pressure, or a $60 trap closing in. But here's the truth no one tells you. The real trap isn't in the market. It's in your mindset. And the moment you break that trap, your entire future shifts. Let me show you why. Imagine realizing that every barrier you thought was permanent wasn't permanent at all. Every limit you believed you had was just a story you accepted, and every opportunity you assumed belonged to someone else was actually waiting for you to step forward. When people hear a headline like "The Truth Behind JPMorgan's Forced Silver Deliveries" or "Inside the $60 Trap Closing In," they think it's only about markets, banks, or big institutions. But the deeper truth is this: the world is shifting, value is changing hands, and those who remain awake, disciplined, and strategic are the ones who rise. Not because the world suddenly becomes easier, but because they become stronger, smarter, and more intentional. When you look at a giant institution getting cornered, pressured, or forced into an unexpected position, it reminds us of something powerful. No one, not even the biggest players, escapes the reality of their choices. Every decision compounds, every habit grows, every risk eventually meets its consequence. And this applies to your life too. You may not control global markets, but you absolutely control your mindset, your readiness, and the way you position yourself when opportunity knocks. Successful investors aren't just people with money. They're people with patience, discipline, and the courage to act when others freeze. Think about the people who built their wealth from nothing. The entrepreneurs who started with a small idea, the investors who began with a few dollars, the individuals who learned one simple rule: when others panic, pause, and when others hesitate, prepare. They understood that financial success is not an accident. It's a lifestyle, a set of habits, a way of thinking. Just like silver pressures big institutions, life pressures all of us. It cornered them, and sometimes it corners you. But pressure is not your enemy. Pressure is the sign you're standing near something valuable. Diamonds are born the same way. Maybe you're facing your own version of a $60 trap. Fear of failure, financial uncertainty, lack of clarity, or feeling stuck in a cycle that keeps repeating. But here's the secret. Every trap has a door. Every challenge carries a hidden opportunity. Every setback is a test asking one question: are you ready for more? Most people focus on what they can't control. High achievers focus on how they respond. That's the difference. Smart investing is less about predicting the market and more about predicting yourself. Will you stay consistent? Will you save and invest even when it feels slow? Will you study the market instead of scrolling through noise? Will you build skills when others waste time? Will you choose long-term value over short-term excitement? These decisions, repeated day after day, quietly build a future you can't ignore. Remember the stories of investors who bought gold and silver not because it was popular, but because they understood value long before the crowd caught on. Or entrepreneurs who used economic uncertainty to build companies that later transformed industries. They had one mindset: when the world tightens, I sharpen. And you can adopt that mindset today. Instead of fearing uncertain times, learn to position yourself inside them. Instead of waiting for the perfect moment, create it. Instead of being overwhelmed, break your goals into small, powerful daily actions. Read for 20 minutes, save a small amount, invest regularly, build skills relentlessly, and protect your focus like your future depends on it, because it does. Take a breath and visualize where you want to be. Not a dream, your target, your future, your next chapter. Think about the life you want to build. Financial freedom, confidence, a business you're proud of, investments that grow while you sleep, a mindset that stays strong even when the world shakes. That life doesn't come from wishing. It comes from acting. It comes from learning. It comes from refusing to let fear write your story. Every great investor began with uncertainty. Every successful person began with doubt. But they chose discipline over comfort. They chose consistency over hype. They chose to grow even when no one was watching, and that is what sets them apart. So here's your action shift. Start planning your finances intentionally. Track your spending. Build an emergency fund. Invest in assets that hold value. Learn the basics of markets, business, and wealth. Take controlled risks. Build habits around growth. Surround yourself with information, books, and people that push you forward. And most importantly, believe that your future is worth building. Because once you start acting on that belief, everything changes. And if this message sparked something inside you, if it made you think differently, feel differently, or see your future more clearly, then take a moment right now to like this video, subscribe for more powerful insights, and share this message with someone who needs it. Your next level begins with one decision. Let today be that decision. The pressure closing in on JPMorgan mirrors a universal truth. Those who stay disciplined, act early, and position themselves wisely during moments of uncertainty are the ones who turn invisible opportunities into life-changing success. That truth becomes clearer the more you study how the world works, how markets behave, and how people respond to pressure. Because pressure is not just something that happens to institutions. It happens to individuals, to families, to entrepreneurs, to investors, and to anyone trying to build a better life. Most people see pressure as a sign of danger, but the people who rise in life understand that pressure is actually a sign of proximity. Proximity to change, to value, to opportunity, to a breakthrough that most others can't see because they are too distracted by fear. When a massive institution gets cornered into delivering something it never planned to give, it shows us that no one escapes accountability forever. Decisions compound, habits compound, and sooner or later the choices you make privately become the results you face publicly. This applies just as much to your money, your mindset, and your lifestyle as it does to a global bank under stress. When life presses in on you, it is quietly asking who you want to become. Do you fold, freeze, hesitate, or wish things were easier? Or do you adapt, learn, and prepare yourself for the moment others are blind to? Wealth is never built in comfort. Success is never built in convenience. Every person who transformed their financial life began with a period of uncertainty, moments where nothing was guaranteed and everything felt unstable. But instead of walking away, they paid attention. They studied patterns. They positioned themselves before the shift happened. The difference between someone who stays stuck and someone who grows is not intelligence, background, or luck. It is awareness. It is the ability to recognize that a shakeup in the world is also a shakeup in your own path. It is the realization that the world rewards those who can stay calm when others panic, disciplined when others get distracted, and patient when others chase the next trend. When institutions face consequences, individuals should take notes. Because the world is telling you something. Value is moving, wealth is shifting, systems are showing stress, markets are revealing cracks. And in every period like this in history, the ones who paid attention early, even with tiny steps, ended up ahead while everyone else claimed it was unexpected. Pressure has a strange way of revealing truth. When you're calm, you only see the surface. But when you're under pressure, your real habits come out. Your real mindset emerges. Your real discipline is exposed. Just like JPMorgan can't escape the results of years of positioning, you can't escape the outcomes of your habits. But here's the difference. You can change yours. You can redirect your financial life. You can create discipline where there was none. You can turn chaos into clarity by deciding that you're no longer simply reacting to the world. You're preparing for it. Think about how many people say they want to be successful, but avoid anything that challenges them. They want growth without pressure, rewards without risk, and transformation without discomfort. But life doesn't work that way. The strongest investors started with uncertainty. The smartest business owners launched before they felt ready. The people with financial confidence today were the ones who kept moving forward even when it felt like the world was closing in on them. Pressure didn't destroy them, it shaped them. It taught them how to think long-term, how to stay consistent, how to use every setback as data instead of defeat. And if you can adopt that same mindset, your entire path changes. You start seeing opportunities where others see threats. You start identifying value where others only see noise. You start building habits that put you ahead quietly, slowly, steadily. Most people wait for life to get easier before they act, but that moment never comes. The truth is that real stability is built during unstable times. Real confidence is built during uncertain times. Real wealth is built during times when most people are too afraid to make a move, when institutions get squeezed, when markets shift, when headlines fill with doubt. That is when the seeds of future success are planted. Not later, not when everything is calm, not when everyone agrees, but in the exact moment when the world feels tight. That's when discipline matters. That's when positioning matters. That's when your habits either lift you or trap you, and you have full control over which path becomes yours. You don't need massive resources to position yourself wisely. You need clarity. You need patience. You need to understand that small decisions made consistently over time become the foundation of financial freedom. Saving a little, investing regularly, learning how markets work, building skills that increase your earning power, protecting your focus and your energy. These are the quiet moves that separate those who grow from those who get left behind. And these moves matter even more during times when pressure is high, because pressure exposes weaknesses, but also reveals opportunities hidden from ordinary eyes. The same way pressure is forcing a giant institution to act, pressure in your life is calling you to rise. It is telling you to pay attention to what others ignore. It is urging you to prepare for the chapter ahead. It is reminding you that your future won't be built by accident. It will be built by discipline. People who change their lives don't do it through dramatic moments. They do it through small, consistent choices made when no one is watching. They do it through preparation when others procrastinate. They do it through education when others escape into entertainment. They do it through belief in themselves when the world gives them every reason not to. Pressure becomes a trap only when you stop moving, but when you respond with clarity, with patience, with action, pressure becomes fuel. It becomes the signal that you are close to something meaningful. It becomes the reminder that everything you want lives on the other side of your habits. Opportunities don't come to the most talented. Opportunities come to the most prepared. And every moment of uncertainty in the world right now is quietly offering you a chance to position yourself for the life you want. If you're willing to stay disciplined, act early, and trust the process long before it becomes obvious to everyone else.